Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. It's me, Jack, and today we're going to be continuing the keto recipe trend. I have a Mexican keto ground beef casserole recipe I'm going to show you today. I'm adding a lot of optional ingredients. I got some habaneros, some serrano, some onion. If you're worried about carbs, cut out the onion. It's completely optional. It's going to be really spicy. Of course, if you can't handle the heat, always feel free to take out the optional stuff. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, we have quite a few things here, but let's focus in on what we need the most first. Then we'll do the optional stuff. So you're going to need a pound of ground beef at least. You can use ground chicken or ground turkey if you want. I have 85% here. You're going to need riced cauliflower. This has like extra stuff in it, like basil, chives. Try to get the one that doesn't have that. This HB I went to was out of the original with bland one. You're going to need some salsa. You're going to need some heavy whipping cream. You're going to need cheese. And you're going to need some sort of seasonings. This is what I'm using. Now, the rest of this stuff is optional, like the cilantro is just for garnishment. A lot of people can't eat cilantro because it tastes like soap to them, which is unfortunate. Garlic, I like garlic, so I'm putting some in. You don't need it. Now, I have some peppers over here. I have these habanero or Caribbean red hots. They were labeled as habanero at the store, but these are exceptionally healthy, and our store usually has trash habaneros for some reason. Now, we also have some serranos. Once again, these are optional, and we have an onion that I haven't cut up yet, or a quarter of an onion. Once again, it's also optional. Let's get to cooking. So to get started, go ahead and preheat your oven to 375 and get a oven-safe skillet or pan out. I'm going to be using cast iron, and we're going to go ahead and get started on cooking the ground beef. Okay, so we're going to have your heat going at a medium-high-ish heat. Not too high though, you don't want to burn. And we're going to shred, I guess you could say, the ground beef. You want small pieces, not big chunks. And we're going to cook it until it's brown and no longer pink. Alright, so I got the ground beef broken up. It's starting to sizzle on one side. I'm going to go ahead and start adding some seasonings. Got some chili powder here. I got some Southwest fajita. I'm going to add some. And some onion powder. And some garlic. And go ahead and stir it all together. If you need to adjust your seasonings, you can use your favorite seasonings. This is just what I have on hand and what I like to use. Alright, now for this recipe, I'm using a higher quality ground beef because I don't want too much grease, but I also want to keep the grease we have as well. So if you're using a higher quality ground beef, do not dump your grease. If you're using 73%, to pour a little bit out, but you do want some grease left over after you're done with the ground beef. I don't have any of this seasoning on hand at the moment, or if I do, I don't know where it is. But you might want to consider adding cumin or cumino. It adds a really good earthy flavor to everything. Don't go too heavy on it because the flavor can be overpowering. But if you have it on hand, I'd highly recommend adding some cumin as well. After your ground beef is no longer pink, go ahead and kill the heat. And we're going to take it out and put it in a bowl. Next, after you take your ground beef out, you're going to go ahead and add your riced cauliflower. You can add your peppers. And onions if you have it. If you're worried about carbs, don't worry about the onions. Once again, this is an optional thing. I'm not too worried about carbs, so I'm going to go ahead and add some onions. Also garlic. I forgot to get the garlic out, but you can add some garlic in as well. And go ahead and mix it all together. And we're going to let it cook until brown. Alright, I went ahead and got the garlic, so I'm going to go ahead and add about half a teaspoon of garlic, or a little bit more. And there we go. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. We're going to go ahead and reintroduce our ground beef back into the pan. And we're going to combine everything. Alright, at this point, we're going to add a cup of salsa. We're going to add 4 tablespoons worth of heavy cream. We're going to add a half a cup of cheese, and we're going to add 1 ounce of cream cheese. And we're going to try and combine everything together as best we can. Might take a while for the cream cheese to melt, but that's okay. Go ahead and mix everything. And we're going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes or so. If you want to during this part, you can hit it with another round of seasoning that you can skip if you wish. You can always risk taste testing, but it's not done. You're not getting the full experience yet, so keep that in mind. Our cream cheese is almost melted. There's still a chunk right here. And we're going to let it cook for another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay, it's been simmering for about 5 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and kill the heat. And I'm going to sprinkle on the remaining cheese. If you want, you can always add more cheese. Keep that in mind. Next, we're going to go ahead and put in the oven, which we preheated to 375 Fahrenheit earlier. And we're going to let it bake for about 15 minutes, or until it starts to bubble. Let's go ahead and put it in the oven. And so here we are, almost 15 minutes later. It's starting to look a little done, so I went ahead and pulled it out. But this is the end result. You can go ahead and garnish with cilantro, or leave the cilantro off and let the individual garnish as well, if you prefer that. And so yeah, there you have it, the Mexican keto ground beef casserole. Smells really great, very aromatic, very spicy. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't want the spices, cut out the peppers. You can use mild hot sauce. If you're worried about carbs, you can cut out the white onion. It was optional. You can eat it as a dip with some chips, or you can eat it traditionally with a spoon. It's up to you. And so yeah, thanks for watching. You can catch us on Facebook at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can catch us on Instagram at Living Between. And it seems like you have something you want to say, Letty? No? Nothing?
Yeah, shit to say.
Alright. See you next time. Thanks for watching.